All right, so on today's episode of The Chosen Scoop, I'm speaking with Brett Barenholtz, a good buddy of mine since this industry. I think one of the things we'll probably talk about as I think about it is this, the ground transportation industry is special because people have become really good friends with one another, and then it makes it that much more special to do business. So Brett's one of those. I can kind of my hands and toes a few people I've become close with over the years, but friend, client, NELA board member, NLA board member, and Brett has Boston Car, Above All, ETS, and maybe I'll stop there and see if there's any more. I don't know, but welcome to The Chosen Scoop, Brett. Hope you're doing well.
We're hanging in there, crazy times. I'm happy to be able to chat with you today, and I hope you and your family are doing well too.
Yeah, for sure. What are there any other? Is there other names? Are we leaving? Are there those three names that the company's under?
Well, we in the fourth quarter we bought a smaller company called Bristol Coach, which was more local, and they had a nice following in our local area, and that has been they have some nice customers and clients that we were happy to absorb.
Well,
It was run by a really nice family that had a great following, and it was very natural at the time for us to take that over. So that's been a great acquisition.
That's awesome. And then family. I mean, obviously, again, a friend of mine. I know the daughters. I think one of them is in New York, and one might be living with you. But everyone good with the COVID stuff?
Yeah, it's been crazy because my daughter from New York, who lives in New York, she's 26, and her and her boyfriend got out of the city in March and came to us, and then he went back to his house in Colorado for a little bit, and now he's back with us. And my other daughter graduated from college, and that was sort of a crazy time because your last couple months of college, you really don't want to be under these COVID conditions and not having graduation and all of these things. And she has a job that starts in September in New York also. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the city when that happens. But they're both living with me right now, and we are actually down in Cape Cod.
Nice.
It's it's about an hour from my work, a little less than an hour for me to get back and forth to work. So I'm just commuting that way.
Yeah, so I say you're doing that commute daily now, or if you go to the office daily, whenever you go in.
Yeah, I like being in every day. So I go in daily when I can. We used to we still go to the Jersey Shore, but it was a little too far for us, especially during these times. So this is working out well.
Nice. Yeah, and I see the in the reflection of the mirror, I see the nice clouds over there. What's it? It's trying to think. I'm looking at my Alexa. It's 74 in California right now, at 4 p.m. almost. What is it over there?
I think it's like 85 today. The crazy thing that I didn't know about the Cape, even though I grew up in Boston, we've always gone to the Jersey Shore, is every morning you wake up and it's foggy. For some reason, there is this fog here because you're wherever we are, and it seems to burn off by early morning. And sometimes it just rolls in when you're not expecting it. You're at the beach, or you're over in Martha's Vineyard or something, and it just fogs in minutes. It's really crazy, the weather here.
Does that bring humidity, or does it keep it out?
No, I think it sort of keeps it out. It's really pleasant to be down here when it's steamy in the city.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. A lot of people down here don't even have air conditioning but I don't know. It just seems a little moldy that way. If you don't know, it can get that way on those really hot days.
Yeah.
But we've enjoyed it, and it's the family time's great. I never realized I'd be able to have this much time with my kids again, besides a week here or a week there.
For sure. For me, that's probably the best thing that's come out of this is my daughter's 6, and being able to spend all this time with her. It sucks that she's not in school, but these memories, some of the firsts that are happening. She lost her first tooth, this, that, and the other. Like, yeah, I don't think I'd get it and have the same experience. So I'm grateful for that stuff for sure. We got to find the silver lining But all right, something I was gonna bring up today, and obviously this stuff's like non-scripted, it's just shooting the breeze, the chosen scoop. But since I met you, I don't know how long ago, something I've always kind of admired about you. It's not about just pump your horn over here, but I love your work-life balance. And I'm almost 40. You're a little bit older than me, not crazy, but a little bit older than me, but you're in much better shape than 99% of 40-year-olds I know. You have a great relationship with your wife, with your kids. I've always said, I tell you, I grow up, I want to be like Brett. You have a good career, but what do you think do you have any secret on work-life balance and keeping, mental? I know you like, you play sports.
Jeff, for the last 5 years, all I've done is work. When Kevin and I merged our companies, I've worked, but part of my daily routine is you got to get a workout in when you wake up. So it's good to get up early, get it out of the way, and then you feel better the rest of the day. But you got to get that in. For me, I have to get it in. If I don't, I'm miserable the whole day, and I'm just thinking about when can I get a run in or get something in. I still play old man soccer, in a league with a bunch of old guys, and but just trying to eat right, stay healthy. And it's funny not being at all these conferences with my friends in the industry. I think I'm losing some weight. It's not those big dinners and late nights.
It's so funny because a lot of people, we travel a lot, right? Me and you and other people in this specific industry, but the rest of the world doesn't travel as much. And they're like, "Oh, I'm putting on weight from Corona." I'm like, "Shit, I'm losing. I'm in the best shape I've been in 15 years because I'm eating good. I'm working out more." So yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say you can always get your workout in. I mean, I can think of a few times. One time, at one of the shows where a bunch of people are still up late, I think we're coming in. You're going to the gym. Another time, I'm staying at your house for an event, and I'm sleeping, you're back, you already had your workout. So it's like, what time do you actually get up? And I'm surprised you can do it. You're able to do it no matter what you do. You're not, some crazy partier, but you like to have fun, but you're able to still get it in. Is it just because it's a priority? And what time do you start that?
Some of those nights I'm out with you till 6 a.m, but yet I'm in the gym. But no, you know what? Basically, I go to the shows. I'm up 20, 22 hours a day. And then I come home and I'm sick as a dog.
Yeah.
But at least I get to spend as much time as possible with our industry and our friends there, and networking. I think it's wonderful how our industry has so many close relationships. Most of my friends, whatever they do, they have people that they do business with around the country, but our industry is different. It's sometimes when you sit down with other industries and they're trying to do business with you, they can't really believe that we'll work together. There was someone that I was dealing with, a travel company, and I went to New York and met them in New York with one of my great friends, an affiliate in New York, and one from DC and one from Philly. And the four of us met, and they're just sitting there shaking their head going, why? Like, we don't, they didn't get it.
You guys are competitors. What are you doing?
Cut each other's throat that we work together. And you even need those relationships in your city. I mean, you need it in your city. If you don't have it, you'll end up getting caught in a COVID crisis with way too many cars.
Yeah.
And I know moving forward, none of us want to have too much equipment. So you really have to start partnering up with the people in our industry and making sure that you can work together. And
that piggyback. That piggybacks though kind of what I started, how we became, buddies and friends and we do business together. But it's like, I'm very verticalized in other industries, not just the luxury ground transportation space. And, when you go to these trade shows, there's seminars and things like that, but there's not like meet the mentor and speak with the mentor. And like people aren't sharing their best practices and their best tips, but it is cool because I think, from a travel perspective, from a transportation perspective, it's like, you're not necessarily fighting for the same clientele. Sometimes you're doing RFPs for big, corporate or corporate stuff or whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you work together, what I've seen you guys do at least, even if you get the gig, and if there's a California job, you're not necessarily in California. You're going to have an affiliate that you work with in California. And the further part of that is like, it's going to be somebody that you know and trust from a personal perspective as well, which, going back to from my position, is like, we have like 12, 15 various vertical industries. I'm, when not COVID, I'm on the road like every week, but I don't break bread with these people like I do in the limo industry. So it's cool, man. Now you see why so many people like yourself started in the industry and can't get out of it, don't want to get out of it even, because it becomes your not just your livelihood, but your friends.
Well, maybe we had that conversation that maybe we didn't want to get out of it in March, the beginning of March.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
we're in for the long haul. We like what we do, but the reason why we've been going to these shows for decades is when your clients get in a car in California and you're an East Coast company, they have to have the same goals as you. And even now with cleaning procedures and PPP, and if a client got onto your bus or something in LA and you didn't have the masks properly, or you didn't have the seats, taped off that they can't use every other row or things like that, it's a problem. I mean, this is what they're buying. They're buying it from you, but that you're servicing them everywhere. And I just feel that if I can call my friend or my business partner who's there that I know really well, I can say, hey, listen, it has to be this way. They can say, this is happening. And I just think this open communication with people that you know for a long time and well is great. And sometimes you don't know someone as well, but one of your great friends works with that person for decades. Yeah. So you have that comfort level.
Yeah, no, it's good. You brought that up. It made me think of something. So also, you've got, I think for the first many years I knew you really didn't get too involved in like the association stuff. And then, I think you were one of a small yet powerful and wise and a smart group of people that said, hey, we kind of should make some changes. And the changes that you guys and the rest of the industry, from the NLA down, have kind of done pre-COVID and post-COVID have been phenomenal. But it made me think about something. I think one of the things that I think the NLA did great, they do a lot of great things, but what they did great recently, and you see it on Facebook all the time now, is the video that the NLA put out that then you can kind of brand it for your own company. And I thought of it because you're talking about, you said PPP, you're thinking about the PPP funds. PPE, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
At least that kind of put out, like, for the travel industry, and this is the National Limousine Association, and the United States is obviously huge. So the National Limousine Association puts out kind of, I guess, like rules or protocols of what you're supposed to do if you operate a luxury transportation business. And then you put out a video that shows your travelers and the travel managers and those people. So I think it goes to say what goes into what we're saying. But, is that, tell me a little bit about, what you believe the purpose of the NLA doing that, or how smaller to larger operators can benefit from some of the stuff that NLA has done to help during the COVID times.
Since COVID happened, the NLA, it's a full-time job for everyone on the board. Every person on the board is working like crazy people. We have legislative calls all the time. We have more committee members that are not on the board that have volunteered now. They see what we're doing. But the board from the top down is incredibly dedicated. There isn't one person that is not, killing themselves to try to help the industry out. Everybody's working really hard. And if I have at a minimum 2 or 3 calls a day for different things that are going on just with NLA, not my own business, and that doesn't include local associations like NILO, which I'm getting more and more involved in over the years. But it's a very dedicated group. Everybody's trying to do what's best for the industry. Maybe not everything we're doing is perfect, but we have made it free for the time being. We're putting out these videos. We're trying to help people survive and get through this. And we know it's a tough time. And it has just been a great group of people to work with. And everyone is, really on their game, working as hard as possible. And a lot of smart people on that board that I respect. and they are just doing, you know, as much as you can possibly do, and it's a volunteer thing,
Right.
and it is literally, full-time job for most of us.
Yeah, no, and it's good. Like, I can relate to it. Even being a vendor, I've sat on NELA board, GCLA board, Lange board, and I still sit on those boards today. And I get it. There was a point in time when I was extremely involved in multiple boards on top of my my own business board and all the other things that I do for my company, not just for the companies that I'm affiliated with. But I get it, and man, hats off, because you guys, the NLA, the new regime, if you will, there's just been, you guys got hit with just, at least at the top from the Robert side, he got hit at the worst timing, to be the captain of the ship, if you will. Gary did a phenomenal job for many years, and predecessor to that, there's been great leadership. And you're right, though, at the end of the day, they're good people, and I think that's what they good intentions, good people, and I think that's what's keeping everyone strong. And everyone uses the whole "we're in it together," but like this industry, I mean, I can tell you, because I'm involved in jewelry and hotels, I'm involved in optometrists, I'm involved in bookstores, I'm involved in funeral, all these various things. There's nothing like the camaraderie of the limo industry. It's great. I mean, it truly is great.
But a jewelry store in Boston is not going to refer you to buy diamonds in LA.
Nope.
It's
Yeah.
we have these networks that we work together with, so it's unique for that. It's very unique, and
Yeah.
it's really good people, though. And I have learned from some of the best people in this industry, and I still do on a daily basis. I'm just happy to sit and talk to any people in the industry. I get so much out of conversations with single car owners. I get so much out of conversation with vendors. I get so much out of, some of the people that are icons in the industry. Everything they're doing these days, and their thoughts and what they're doing and how they're processing things, and different legislative things that are coming out now. And it's really a unique industry, and I'm happy to be part of it. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully, things, they're not bouncing back, but we'll grind our way back. We always grind. Nothing's ever been easy. No one is ever just,
looking for handouts.
yeah, and no one, it's never just flowing how you want. If something's going good here, you always have a breakdown there. We'll get through it. It's just going to be work. It's going to be build it back up.
Yeah, something I've always said to the people that that are friends that I grew up with, or friends in my neighborhood now, or whatever. They're always like, Jeff, I don't understand. Like, you're always traveling with these limo people. Like, do you own a limo company? I'm like, no, I don't. I became friends with these guys because they're cool, these guys and gals. But something I always say is that, like, I think for me personally, I'm a scrappy young entrepreneur, had a lot of failure, had a lot of success, had a lot of failure. So I think I can relate to 99% of the limo operators today. If you're a big operator, you started at some point at the bottom, and a jewelry
one car and no customers.
Yeah, and for you and others, Dawson and Robert and even I think Scott. I mean, there's a lot of people that were in the taxi business, but when I'm there and I'm at the hotel conventions, I'm shooting the breeze with the CEO of the hotel. This is just a corporate guy. I don't get along as well with the guy. Not that I don't get along with them, but I don't bond as well because there's corporate people and there's entrepreneurs, and no one's better than one another. But some people just have the entrepreneurial spirit, and some people went to the Yales of the world and got a really good job, and that's who they're meant to be. I mean, together they're stronger. But what's connected me so much to this industry is that I think we've all fought, like you just said, a lot of the same fights. It's never been easy. It hasn't been handed, but we've had the downturns, and it only makes us stronger on the upside. I was going to ask you though, so from your perspective, what is the whole, unwritten law when you have affiliates? What do you want to see? If there's 4 things that you say, when my client gets in From the time that they land at the airport to the time that they get dropped off or whatever, from point to point, what are the top four, say three things that you want to make sure that the client experiences?
It's just a given that you're on time and you're on point and you're there. It's a given that your driver's dressed properly and the car is clean. It's a given the driver knows where he's going. Some of the things on the backside, did you get your billing out to the people that day? Did you, those are the kind of things. But a lot of it is a given. The things that come up that are crazy, that's when you have to discuss things. When there's an issue or a problem, sometimes the client's not always right. But you're not, it's very rare that you're firing your clients. But you work it out with your partners when you have to.
For you, you're not going to make a big deal over the brand of bottled water in the back or the way that the welcome sign says their name, but the certain things that are just common sense, like be on time, look good, be polite, spoke when speaking to, like the common sense things. It's cool that you say that we're given because it's true.
But sometimes a welcome sign means something. Like we use electronic welcome signs. If it's done like in crayon or it's just
horrible,
you can't read it, or so there's just certain expectations of the professionalism and the dress and whatnot. And we've all, run into problems here and there, but it's also how you fix them and how you move forward. And I don't expect my affiliates to be the cheapest or anything like that. That's not what I'm looking for. I expect them to be at the top of their game, though, and they expect the same.
Yeah.
But
there's a reason for that. There's a reason why people, like yourself and myself and others, like, we could choose to fine dine at a certain restaurant versus a higher establishment, and sometimes the food might not be that much better, but you're willing to pay a higher price for the quality, for the experience, for the product, because the sommelier will come over and talk to us about wines and they greet you so well. And it's similar. It's like, you can't buy anything we do in life. We can't buy on price. Someone that's a price shopper and a price buyer is also someone that's a price seller as well. And they're just bought under the barrel. So it's like, I want the cheapest deal. Well, like if you go get the cheapest car, it's going to fall apart eventually.
Well, it's the thing that we have going for us is we do have loyal clients and we do have people that like quality. If you were in, and I see my daughter's friends and themselves, everyone in New York, if Uber's having a sale this week, they'll go on Uber because it's cheaper, then Lyft, then this one, then that one. There's 40, 50 different companies there that will say $5 from this end of the city to the other. Every person takes them, and then they burn all their cash, and they're just buying on price. If that's not what they're doing, then they're taking a taxi. We need people, and we have people, and we always have had people that use us because we just have higher levels. They want to make sure they get where they're going. And I don't know if it's going to be a true thing, and unfortunately it might be, but I think COVID-19 has made it that people don't trust being in TNCs now. They trust being in our cars. They know our cleaning procedures. They see them. We even have a product now that is being sold on Sean and Eric Devlin and Brian O'Neill's site with their products that you spray it in your car and it seals the car. And for 46 days, it's been tested and it kills COVID-19 on contact. If you sneezed into it, it would die.
Yeah. So Sean has the Pure Armor.
The Pure Armor, yeah.
What it's the Mister. What is it? It's called
it's a fogger. Yeah.
Fogger, right? So, and then you're putting the
electrostatic sprayer. It's an electrostatic sprayer.
Electrostatic sprayer, and then you have a product that you're distributing that is a solution that goes in that product. And that I knew about that. I didn't know if I was going to bring that up or not, but I love that in itself as well.
Yeah, it's just a small piece of what they do. They have something that you use almost daily that cleans the air and everything, but this seals it up. But these are the kind of things that we're doing in the industry to say, hey, we're doing this. you can take your shot in Uber or Lyft. I mean, I saw the New York Stock Exchange banned anyone coming into the New York Stock Exchange from taking a TNC or a taxi, even, or the public,
Transportation.
so there's an opening for us. There are things we can do. We do a lot of things extremely well that other people don't do. I mean, it's one of the reasons why our industry's had great success in the bus industry, because we answer the phone after 4 or 5 o'clock at night. We're there on the weekends.
Yeah.
We're always there, and our service,
it's a luxury experience.
Chauffeurs.
It's a luxury experience for sure, right? It's a luxury experience.
But you're not always paying that much more.
Yeah,
it's not always that much more.
It's funny you brought it up. I'm gonna tell this story and then probably wrap it up from here on a personal note. But so I just not that long ago, as soon as the economy kind of opened back up, I needed to get out. So I did a quick trip to Myrtle Beach. I'd never been to Myrtle Beach, but clearly, like, just in our industry, in your industry, I have friends there. The Smallwoods came down. The Messinas were there. The Reinhardts are there as well. Glasgow's aren't too far from there. But everywhere I go, I can get in a car comped. I feel bad no matter, because I just, I take care of the driver, whatever. But I feel bad doing that at times. I don't ever want someone to think I'm taking advantage of their friendship. Blah blah blah. It is what it is. So we get there. I'm with my girlfriend at the time, and if you listen to this, I didn't say at the time because we're broken up, Brittany. We're still together. But I was saying my girlfriend. And I was like, oh, I'll just get a ride from one of my friends. I'll call, they own transportation companies here. And we're newly together, which doesn't understand, like, it's our first kind of big travel thing. Long story short, so I was going to call Joe Reinhardt from Carolina Limousines. And I was like, I don't really want to bug. She talked to me. She's like, don't bug your friend. It's 15 minutes. Let's take a taxi. So I was like, okay, let's take a taxi. This is no exaggeration. The guy's at least 78 to 80 years old. He told us that 3 days before we got in his cab, that someone in the backseat of the cab tested positive for COVID and told him that. There's no sneeze guards. The cab is disgusting. He's not wearing a mask. He's talking to us. He's wearing a mask, but it's down here. He's saying, oh, I would put a mask on people, only people that have masks on. Because I don't believe in them, but I don't want to lose business, blah, 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 blah. I'm back there like freaking out. Like, how cheap do I feel right now? I would have paid triple to be in a car to feel safe. So on the way home, I told my girlfriend, listen, she's trying to be frugal and humble and not take advantage of my friends or not have me overspend for a limo to go 15 minutes or a luxury transportation vehicle. And I'm like, hey, we have arguments, some arguments. You're not ever going to win. Don't even talk to me about this because I'm not taking an Uber or a taxi back. She's like, oh, I wasn't going to let you do that after that. So then I have Joe's car pick me up. The guy's wearing a mask. He's got that seal on the door that says, like, this has been sprayed or defogged or whatever. And it's like, my girlfriend, who, grew up in a decent life, she doesn't really ride in transportation vehicles like that, but she just goes like, I would never travel any different. Like, this is crazy. Like, for $50 or $100 or whatever, we're going to risk our safetyness, our life, and just have like a conversation with a guy that was definitely a crackhead in his past. I don't know if he still is today, but so it just goes to show, like, there's the value that you're saying. I think there's going to be a lot of people that probably watch this little chosen scoop besides transportation people. And I hope that if you are watching this, you can appreciate that story of like, okay, I can take a cab for $25 so I can spend maybe $75 or $100 to go 15 minutes, probably not even $100. What makes more sense? To feel clean, to have water, to be welcomed, to know that the chauffeur has gloves on, he's wearing a mask, the car was beautiful, the car was clean. There's so much there in this industry that I agree with you, Brett, to bring it full circle. COVID, we as business people and fathers, we're both fathers, obviously, and you have some time on me, and I'm trying to be like you when I grow up, but we have to always think.
You should grow your hair more. You cut it too short. Wait till you have to have it this short.
But I think for us, we have a duty. We have a duty to find a silver lining in life and let others around us not feel, if we're suffering, not feel it. And so we have to get scrappy and we have to figure out how do we make a negative into a positive. And I think for this COVID thing, there's ways to do that. And you've done so yourself in your own way. I've done so myself in our own way, both personally and professionally. But I challenge anybody that's listening to this or watching this, we can be a victim or we can be a leader. And I'm not a victim. I'm always going to be a leader. So I'm going to find a way to diversify myself and do something different. And I think it's cool that you've done that. I think it's cool that you're doing that by enjoying more time with the family at a new place down at the Cape, and having, who likes to commute that much? You're doing it because you did something good for the family. It's family time.
We sold our house in the middle of COVID. We didn't know COVID was coming. We were selling our house and going to move into the city. And when that happened, it was like, we're not moving into the city right now.
Right.
So we ended up down here.
Yeah.
But no, what you're saying though, just if people in our industry can make sure that they put these protocols in, I think it's going to pay off. Maybe not immediately, but I think people for a very long time now are going to be looking for a clean alternative that they feel safer in. And I know that, all of our partners and the majority of our industry can really provide that. And it's going to be something that everyone wants.
Yep, I could agree. All right, bud. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me. I think you'll be like
my pleasure.
The third person that you'll be the third one that we've done. And we're gonna start putting them out, I think, in 2 weeks, and we'll promote this thing. And anyone that's watching, thank you. And Brett, I look forward to seeing you soon. I don't know if I'll see you before December, but I'm pretty sure I'll see you in December if I don't see you before then.
I'm sure we'll see you before then. Anyway, Jeff, it's a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, bud. Have a good night. Okay, Brett. Later, buddy. Bye.